Good morning. It's been a while since I've created a video. It is Thursday, about 6:30, heading to work. I should be there by about 7. A lot of things to talk about. Commercials. Gavin Newsom of California trying to lure people back to California with a political advertisement for his state. We'll talk about that and some of the false or half lies. Did you know that's the best way to lie? Lie is to create a half lie. Half of it's truth, half of it's lies. And the politicians, they're onto this. So we're going to talk more about that. Silver, we're going to talk about the price fall that I don't normally pat myself on the back, and you know that. But I called it. We're going to talk a little bit about the dropping of silver price and where I still think it's going to go. And just a little odds and ends. But anyway, good morning. Welcome to the Overtaxed Taxpayer. I had a miserable night sleeping. And then I'm running behind because I got to get to work and deal with a couple of issues that need to be reconciled. So I didn't even make my coffee. Oh shoot, I even forgot to take my damn vitamins. Oh man, I'm just gonna be a mess. Anyway, thank you. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Every little bit helps. And give me a like and a thumbs up. You know the routine. So yeah, I'm heading to work. Even brought my lunch. A lot of people ask me what I bring for lunch, because a lot of people recognize that I work out, and a lot of people are trying to lose weight. But the number one question I always get is, what is my pre-workout? What do you take for your pre-workout? It might surprise people. I don't take a pre-workout. I'd rather eat a pre-workout meal than take all those powders and whatnot. Sometimes I do, but normally I'll do a pre-workout if I'm working out morning or early afternoon. But I work out late afternoon. I work out about 4 or 5 o'clock, and the pre-workout from my metabolism doesn't wear off. And when I do go to bed, I don't sleep. So I don't take it. I don't take a pre-workout past like 2 o'clock. I refuse to. So what's in there? So I've been eating a lot of cans of tuna. I get the good kind in the olive oil. But I've been eating so much tuna, I'm physically getting nauseous every time I eat another can. So I moved to the jars, and they're like $5 a jar. They're fillets of tuna, and they have like little strips of jalapeno in there. Same thing with that. I've eaten so much of that, it's just coming out my freaking ears. I'm starting to get physically. So my pre-workout meal, and then I'll move on to the topics I wanted to really talk about. I just wanted to answer some questions. My pre-workout meal normally consists of a simple carbohydrate. I should say a complex carbohydrate. In this case, I got cream of wheat, and for a decent sugar, I got blueberries. So I put a handful of blueberries in my cream of wheat to slow its digestion down, because I'll eat that 2 hours before I go to work out. Don't want to eat and then go work out. Just doesn't feel good in your stomach. You're lethargic. So I normally eat my pre-workout meal 2 hours prior, and to slow its digestion rate down, I put some fat in. So in this case, I put a teaspoon of real butter in with the cream of wheat and blueberries. That'll slow its digestion rate down, and then I'll start getting those carbohydrates into my body, my blood, right around when I hit the gym. And I normally mix that with, normally do the carbohydrates and fruit and butter, believe it or not, just a teaspoon of real butter, with a solid protein. In this case, I did a Optimum Nutrition protein powder mixed with cinnamon Love the taste of cinnamon, and besides cinnamon, also helps you lose fat, helps you lose weight, believe it or not. Look it up, it's true. So I'll eat that together, 2 hours, eat and drink that together, 2 hours. A lot of people actually, instead of the protein drink, mix peanut butter in with their cream of wheat or something like that. Bottom line is protein and carb and the fruit 2 hours before. That's it. That's it, folks. On to some news. Let's first talk about silver, okay? What was it, about a month and a half ago? Silver was at, I want to say 21. Well, just to play it safe so I don't accidentally exaggerate, I think it was in the upper 20s. We'll just call it $20.85 a troy ounce. This morning I just looked at it. I just looked at it about 5 minutes ago. Damn, I missed my freaking coffee. Man, I would love to chug some freaking good Ethiopian coffee right now. Just so I got to go to work and do those crappy Keurig cups. They're all right in an emergency, but nothing like a good cup of coffee, if you know what I'm talking about. So silver this morning, looked at it, actually just 20 minutes ago, honestly. $18.37 a troy ounce. A significant drop. I called it back then, and I believe it's still going to drop even further. Why am I saying this? Because this is the thing that really scares people into selling. Oh my God, I'm losing my money. I'm losing my money. And they run out and they go to sell their silver, and they're thinking, well, that's okay. It's fallen. Once it hits $14 or $13, I'm going to buy it all right back up anyway. I won't lose. Yes, you will. History has shown us that every time silver drops significantly, within 12, 24 hours, all the online retailers are out of stock, out of supply. All your local silver shops pull their silver and hide it in the back shelf because they don't want to sell something that they bought at a higher price, right? Why the hell they're going to buy a monster box at $20 a troy ounce, and then some schmuck walks in when the price drops, and they're going to demand that they sell me your silver at 14 bucks? That ain't going to happen, folks. For the people who are in the know, they got 12, 24 hours. They're the ones that clean the boat. They're the ones that load the boat. I'm sorry. But for the bulk of us, you will not recoup that sold silver. Please, in these significant drops, do not be a day trader. I believe silver is going to fall significantly. I do believe. And there will be some upward turns in the next couple of months. Roller coaster. So it ain't going directly to my forecast. It'll do a little bit of this, but I do believe it's going to go into the low teens. I do believe this to be true. Don't sell, folks, please. I don't want anybody to lose out on it, on their investments, on their savings, on their financial insurance. Gavin Newsom is running into a problem because they screwed. I almost used the F word. They run into a situation where they messed up that state. The politicians messed up that state so bad that even the people that were on their political side, because you can't use the D word anymore, algorithms will flag me. Even the people that are politically on Gavin Newsom's side and that side of the party are leaving the state. They're going to places like Texas, Florida. They're coming here to Arizona. They're freaking abandoning, I can't talk this morning. They're abandoning that state. And when you abandon a state in bulk like they're doing, it hurts their budget, because everybody leaving the state is a taxpayer, and when they leave the state, they are no longer contributing into your budget. So your budget plans are no longer being met financially. Those those revenues have left the state to another state. It's hurting them. Leaving behind the people who don't pay taxes, freeloaders. Gavin Newsom puts out an advertisement, because that's really what it was. Come to our state, kind of thing. We've got a state of sunshine and utopian, we're just wonderful state, free food. No, he didn't say that, but you get the point. It's an advertisement. It's just like any travel advertisement you've seen. Come to Hawaii, sun and waterfalls, and one of those kind of. I'll get the name after I finish recording this video. The name of that type of advertisement will come to me. Anyway, one of the things he says: don't go to Florida and places like that, because the R team. Remember, I can't talk political because YouTube algorithms. The R's, where those states, they're banning books. They're making it harder for you to vote. It's like the days of Nazis. Come back to our state, where everything is just beautiful and butterflies floating around. What he fails to do, see, they talk in what I call vague terms. I don't need to talk about making elections easier or harder. He claims the R team, is making elections more difficult. Yet they can produce not one person who has a legal right to vote not being able to vote in this United States. You notice that? They never bring one person forward. They can't produce that. We all know that we're just trying to make the elections, the voting process, legal and secure. Secure, meaning you have to have an ID. You have to be a citizen to vote. They don't want that, but he leaves that out. They're making it harder for you to vote if you move to those states. But the one that got me was they're banning books. And then he just goes off on a different reason why you should move back. He doesn't elaborate on the book banning. Now, you would equate that, the modern, simple-minded, imbecile, buffoon, would equate that to the Nazis burning books in big barn fires. That's not the case. What he's talking about, and he doesn't want you to know about the book banning, is the pornographic homosexuality, sexualization, raping of little children, those types of books in our schools, library. And those schools are normally those schools are normally, first all the way up to third grade schools. Those young age schools. What am I talking about? I'm having a freaking Joe Biden moment. But those books have been found to be in those children's libraries, in their schools. Those are the book bannings. And we're not burning those books, we're just removing them from the libraries, where adult men write books to try to sexualize little boys and tell them and little girls how to perform a self-gratification on themselves, and teaching them these things that do not need to be taught to a first, second, third, fourth, fifth grader. I don't think that they need to be taught to anybody. Those books are not being banned. They're just being removed from these children's schools. So it's funny how these the D team talks but leaves out key points, because the simple-minded buffoon cannot decipher logic. They can't. So I just saw the the inflation numbers come out this morning. I'm looking over here like some coffee is going to miraculously pop up, you know, like I feel like a damn heroin. I now know what it feels like to be a heroin junkie. I need my fix. I need my freaking coffee. 3.6% inflation rate. It means everybody's taking a significant pay cut. The employment numbers are coming out. They're bad. Inflation rates coming out. They're horrific. And immediately the D team uses their news media outlets to brainwash the buffoons. Oh, this is due to the COVID lockdown. It's funny how this all coincided with Joe Biden taking office, isn't it? It's a real shame. It really is a shame that the American people, although slowly waking up, the bulk of the zombies, I call them zombies because regardless of what their D team side does, they're like, what's that old fabled Pied Piper where all these rats follow him and he kills all the rats? These people are zombies. They'll follow the D team regardless of what they do. They're brainwashed and they'll believe anything that side says. We got a war in Ukraine that the American people are being told we're funding. I don't understand now why we're funding other people's wars. Oh, for humanitarian reasons. How dare you, overtax, not want to help out? Did you know Ukraine was one of the largest internet fraud, phone scam fraud countries in the world? That and what was it? Uganda, or India obviously was one of them. There's many of them, but Ukraine was actually one of the largest scamming operations in the entire world, phone scams and whatnot, and that sort of thing. And here we are, and I don't condone anybody get killed. And the very last thing I want to see is a child being killed, regardless of whether they're the child of phone scammers or anybody. I don't have the stomach for it to see children getting killed. But the fact is, this is a war between, forget that what Ukraine really was. The fact of the matter is, two states that have nothing to do with us. It's their war. They should fund their own freaking wars or their own sides. And it shouldn't be the American population. I don't actually believe we're funding it as much as they claim we are. Now, don't get me wrong. I know we're sending stuff over. But not enough to drive inflation to where it is now. I think this war is a scapegoat. They need, our politicians, the D team, needs this war to hide their overspending on the Green New Deal. Amazing, once gas prices and everything started to climb, all of a sudden, perfect timing, we got a war now. We can blame the rising cost of everything on this war. It wasn't the Green New Deal, which financial advisor says was going to ruin this country. Now they can hide that, and the news media outlets are helping them hide it. Speaking of news media outlets, and then I'll leave you, I just want to remind people, news media outlets helped and called anybody a homophobe, a xenophobe, a white supremacist that called out Joe Biden during the campaign as being mentally unable to run this country. We were called every name in the book during the campaign when we were accusing him of hiding, and the news media outlets were protecting him and called and demonized us. Now the news media outlets are coming out as like this is newfound information. These same news media outlets are trying to get rid of him because his useful idiocy has been used. Anyway, folks, gotta run. Take care of yourselves.